You are now listening to Countdown to Kickoff, presented by DolphinsTalk.com. To get you ready for today's game, here's your host, Tom Ernisse.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Countdown to Kickoff, presented by DolphinsTalk.com. I am your host, Tom Ernisse, getting you ready for part 2 of the Miami Dolphins hosting the New England Patriots live from Hard Rock Stadium at 1 p.m. Weather for the game, 84 degrees with a 40% chance of rain, as always in South Florida. Before we dive into the game itself, first want to give a big shout out to everybody listening on whatever platform you are subscribed to for the DolphinsTalk.com daily podcast, whether it's Apple, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you are listening. We greatly appreciate it. Also, everyone over at finheaven.com, the largest Miami Dolphins message board on the internet, and the Facebook group I Am a Miami Dolphins Fan, run by the great Carlos Hernandez. With each and every week for the pre-game show, we go into what will it mean for the Dolphins to move to 6-2? Well, first, it will be the first 6-2 start since 2001. It would be the 16th win at home in the last 18 games. That would be tied with the best win percentage over that same span of 18 games at home with the Chiefs and the 49ers. It would also be the 6th win in the last 7 versus the Patriots, and that would be the first time Miami has done that since October of 1999 through October of 2002. It would also be 4 straight home wins versus the Patriots. Getting into the injury report, a lot of news broke over the Saturday with the Miami Dolphins officially activating Jalen Ramsey from injured reserve. But let's go through the long list, because I think this was a chess match between Mike McDaniel and Bill Belichick on who could put more questionable players on the list. So the list consisted of River Craycraft, Javon Holland, Xavier Howard, Alec Ingold, Raheem Mostert, Nick Needham, Jalen Ramsey, Cam Smith, and Connor Williams, all listed questionable. The news broke on Friday that center Connor Williams will in fact play, most likely will start back at center. Jalen Ramsey, again, Saturday, activated off injured reserve, likely to get his first start for the Miami Dolphins since his injury over the summer. The Dolphins have officially ruled out River Craycraft, who is still on IR, but he had limited practices all week, and safety Javon Holland with a concussion. He was in a non-contact jersey on Thursday. He did not have one on Friday. He practiced on Thursday and Friday. The Dolphins deemed they are not going to suit him up for the game. Likelihood is Xavier Howard will be playing. Alec Ingold is up in the air. Raheem Mostert stated that he will play. Cam Smith, who really doesn't play, we have no idea what his role is going to be going forward. For the Patriots, Calvin Anderson ruled out with an illness that started on Thursday, so clearly something bothering him. Hopefully he's okay. Christian Barmore, Trent Brown, Jonathan Jones, Viridian Lowe, Josh Uche, Sean Wade, Keon White, Dietrich Wise Jr., all listed questionable. The Patriots on Saturday did rule out Viridian Lowe and Josh Uche. With the corresponding move of Jalen Ramsey, the Dolphins did release Perry Nickerson from the 53-man roster. Not entirely sure if they're planning on bringing him back to the practice squad or not, but Perry Nickerson, who took significant snaps away from Cam Smith, is off the team, while Cam Smith has not seen much playing time. Very weird move overall. Let's get into the team rankings. It has been a 6 straight weeks for the Miami Dolphins. Offensive total, pass yards per game, rush yards per game, and points per game, all number one in the NFL, 462.3 yards per game. Pass yards at 300, rush yards at 162.3, and the points per game 34.3. For the Patriots defense, which is, of course, the strength of their team, they are at 311.3 yards giving up per game. That is actually 9th in the NFL. Pass yards per game at 210.6, which is 12th. Rush yards per game at 100.7, which is 13th. But they do give up 25.3 points per game, which is ranked 24th in the NFL. But overall, again, defensively, they are a very strong unit. For the Patriots offense, 294.3 yards per game, they rank 25th. Pass yards per game, 208.9, that's 21st. Rush yards per game, 85.4 at 27th. And points per game, 14.4. Points per game, 31st in the NFL. For the Miami Dolphins, they give up 345.3 yards per game, that is 20th in the league. Pass yards per game at 233, which is 20th. Rush yards per game, 112.3. And the points per game, 26.7, which is 27th. Now, I take it with a grain of salt because we now get to officially see what this Vic Fangio defense is going to look like now that they have Jalen Ramsey in the fold. So really interested to see how they deploy Jalen Ramsey, whether he is going to be on the boundary corner. Is he going to line up in the slot? Is he going to line up safety? He said over the summer that he is a defensive back, not a corner. So there is going to be possibly some moving pieces with Jalen Ramsey in this defense, but I am excited to see what this is going to look like for them defensively. So let's get into who has the advantage. Start at the quarterback position. It is clear Tua Tagovailoa clears Mac Jones by leaps and bounds. Now, Mac Jones, the last 2 weeks, has resembled more of what he looked like as a rookie quarterback than he has done over the past year when he had the two coordinators in Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. Now, that's not to say that he's going to come down to South Florida and have that type of game. He struggled against the Dolphins at home in week 2. But I see a strong outing from Tua, which for Tua Tagovailoa, he is looking to move to 6-0 as the starting quarterback of the Dolphins when facing Bill Belichick. So that is a clear indication Tua right now is the better of the two quarterbacks. Run game is no question. If you asked me at the beginning of the year, I'd say the Patriots, but they don't use Ramondre Stevenson as much as they should, in my opinion. They've been running a lot more Zeke Elliott than they have Ramondre Stevenson. I don't know if that's a trust issue right now with Bill O'Brien, but they have been using, it seems, Zeke Elliott a little bit more than Ramondre Stevenson, which is why they're 27th in the NFL in rush, where the Dolphins have been great on the ground. Sans last week against the Eagles. They had their struggles getting the run game going until the second half where Raheem Mostert busted out a couple nice chunk runs. They have to be consistent against the Patriots in this game, but they definitely have the better of the running back units. Wide receiver is laughable. The Dolphins clear the Patriots by leaps and bounds. Tight end, I give the nod to the Patriots. I think Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki is a better group. Durham Smythe has kind of, I wouldn't say phased out of the passing game recently, but he has definitely not been a part of the passing game the last few weeks. The Dolphins have been using Tanner Conner, obviously Julian Hill, more of a blocking tight end than a receiving tight end. So, and the Patriots have the better tight end on the field, which is Hunter Henry. Mike Gesicki, of course, looking for blood. He tried to do it in week 2, had a decent game, tried that lateral at the end. We'll leave it at that. For the offensive line, the nod to the Dolphins. Connor Williams is back. I think there is a slew of injuries for the Patriots up front. Trent Brown has not looked like himself with an ankle and knee injury. No Kelvin Anderson. There is some issues up front with the Patriots. Not a ton, but I expect the Dolphins really to attack with Jalen Ramsey back in the fold. I would expect that they're going to probably blitz a lot more. Defensive line, linebacker, and defensive back, I give the nod to the Dolphins. Overall, I think the Patriots as a unit currently this year is better than Miami from a defensive perspective, but from a talent perspective, the Dolphins clear, especially Jalen Ramsey back in the fold. Even not having Javon Holland, I think they still have a better defensive back group. J.C. Jackson was traded from the Chargers back to the Patriots a few weeks ago. This is the second round he gets to see the Miami Dolphins. So we'll see how the unit plays. But overall, I think the Dolphins defensively is better than the Patriots. Special teams, maybe a slight nod to the Dolphins. I've shied away from it, but Jason Sanders has been consistent this season. He's making all his extra points. Outside of the week one, he has not missed, and he's been making his field goals. So as long as the Dolphins don't punt, because I think Jake Bailey's a terrible punter right now, as long as they don't punt, this unit is strong. From a coaching perspective, I have to give it to the Dolphins. I think Mike McDaniel is doing a much better job with his team than Bill Belichick is currently doing with his team. That's not a knock on Bill Belichick from a career perspective, although I don't want him to pass Don Shula. But Mike McDaniel is getting the absolute most out of his team, out of his offense, and I think we'll see that on display on Sunday. So again, these two teams did meet in week 2, where the Dolphins pulled away with a victory out of in New England. In their first meeting, the Dolphins' defense, in my opinion, was great. They rebounded from a dreadful outing against the Chargers, only gave up 288 total yards to the Patriots' offense. They had 4 sacks. They only gave up 4.1 yards per play, 3.5 yards per carry, and they forced 2 turnovers. Tua in the first game, he was efficient. The run game got going late in that game. They had that big touchdown run from Raheem Mostert that kind of put the game on ice. I would expect more of the same. Mike McDaniel did say, and the Patriots did do a good job with Tyreek Hill. They made sure they bracketed him. He did not have a strong game against the Patriots in their first outing. Mike McDaniel says if they do that again, they do have a plan for the Patriots if they try to do the same type of bracketing on Tyreek Hill, which to me signals that they are going to use him as a decoy and probably open things up in the middle of the field, maybe for Jalen Waddle, maybe for Chase Claypool or Braxton Berrios, but we'll see how they deploy. Let's get into the key matchup for the game. I have it highlighted, circled, whatever you want to say. It is Tyreek Hill versus J.C. Jackson. I think this is going to make or break the game for the Patriots. The Dolphins clearly have more weapons, but Tyreek Hill has been an absolute menace on the football field this year. He had 11 catches a week ago against Philadelphia for 88 yards. He dropped a couple passes. I think he's going to rebound. And I think if J.C. Jackson is the target, Tua is going to attack J.C. Jackson. They did so in the game against the Chargers for a touchdown. He gave up a couple big chunk plays. He had that penalty just before the half. So I think they want to attack J.C. Jackson. And I think they're going to find a way to do so. And hopefully, catch him the way they did against the Chargers. Let's get into my keys of victory. To victory, not my victory. The keys to victory for the Miami Dolphins. Number 1 is pressuring Mac Jones. The Bills struggled doing so. Mac Jones did a great job getting the ball out of his hand last week. All his passes were within the 20-yard spectrum of the line of scrimmage, so I would expect the Dolphins to make sure they play a lot of defense in the 20-yard range and dare Mac Jones to throw the ball down the field. When he did in the first meeting, he was intercepted by Xavier Howard. My second key to victory is take what the Patriots defense gives you. Bill Belichick is a fantastic coach. And he does a great job pinpointing a particular player that they want to take out of the game. First game, they took out Tyreek Hill. That allowed Raheem Mostert to have a very strong performance. I think he had 121 yards on the ground and a touchdown or a couple touchdowns. I think if the Patriots are going to play that zone defense the way that the Bills and Eagles did and try to slow the Dolphins down that way and not really focus too much on the window dressing, I find that the Dolphins are going to play a much shorter game. Tua's going to get the ball off his hand quick. He's going to find his open targets. He's going to dump it off to the running backs. And if it has to be a dink and dunk type of game, that's the way it's got to be. This is a game the Dolphins can't overlook. They have a game against the Chiefs the following week at 9:30 a.m. in Germany. This is a game they can't overlook, and I think they're going to take what the defense gives them. And my third key to victory is the home field advantage. The Dolphins have been cooking, figuratively cooking at home. The opposing teams that have played in South Florida, you look at the games they played at home this season. Denver gave up 70 points. The Giants gave up 31. The Panthers gave up 42. So in the 3 home games, the Dolphins are averaging damn near 50 points a game. And they are going to take advantage of that heat. And Bill Belichick struggles. His teams struggle in Miami. So this is a game the Dolphins have to use home field advantage. Getting Jalen Ramsey back is going to have this crowd completely hyped up. And I think this is going to cause some issue for the Patriots going forward. Let's get into my prediction. To me, this is a game where the Dolphins have to be balanced. They have to run the football. They have to not turn the ball over and give New England any sort of hope. If they can get up by 2 scores on this Patriots team in the first half, I think this is going to be smooth sailing. But I give the Patriots respect. I think that they're going to try to keep this close as they can, but I think we're going to see close to the similar result we saw in New England. I have the Dolphins winning this game 27, the Patriots 17. That will do it for Countdown to Kickoff. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Be sure to follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Dolphins Talk Tom. Be sure to follow the main account on all social media platforms, whether it's X, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, Threads. It is at Dolphins Talk. Be sure to subscribe, if you're not already, to the YouTube channel. So once the game completes at some time in the early evening, Mike Oliva and myself will be on for the post-game wrap-up show where we will break down, hopefully, the Miami Dolphins' 6th victory of the season over the New England Patriots, moving the record to 6-2. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the alert bell so when we go live with the post-game wrap-up show, you can join us in the chat and have a conversation with other Miami Dolphins fans about the game. I am out. I hope you all have a great Sunday. I hope you enjoy the game, and let's get another W. Fins up. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast. Be sure to visit DolphinsTalk.com every day for all of your latest Miami Dolphins news.